I remember just constant, absolute terror. And I can't explain how intense, how strong, how all-encompassing that terror is. Unless you do this, you're gonna get killed. You're gonna die.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another awesome production. I hope you guys are excited for some more Overwatch tonight. We got another Overwatch All-Star Brawl number 2 presented to you by Star Esports. I'm not by myself tonight. My name is Twess. I'm here with Moxie. Moxie, how are you doing this?
I'm doing really good. It feels like it's been ages since I got to cast with you, Twess.
It's been too long. I'm glad that we get to get back together and do this again for Star. It's going to be a good time. Hope you guys are all ready for it. Hope you're ready, Moxie. We got a pretty good one tonight. We got Soesic Esports versus Hunky Dory News. I don't know if you've seen Soesic, but I was lucky enough to get to see Hunky Dory last week on stream, and it should be a pretty good match.
So you were telling me before you've cast for Hunky Dory News. So anyone that I should be watching out for?
They were pretty good. They had a really good team. They went up when I saw them. They went up against Magneterra. It was a really close game. I think on the bracket it ended up 3-1, but it should not have been. It should have been easily gone to a game 5. They were doing really good. It was a really back and forth game. Guile and Widow were their 2 DPS players. Don't be confused because it threw me and Shy Guy off because Widow does not really play Widow very often.
Oh, no.
Widow was playing a lot of Pharah, and the Pharah game was very strong. Guile was usually on that Doomfist, and they were slaying out on DPS. They did a really good job, but the big one was Widow on Pharah with John on Mercy, and the Pharmacy was actually cleaning up house. So I'm going to see if Hunky Dory's going to be bringing that again or not.
I mean, you're going to make me panic and consult patch notes. It's going to be Widow with the 6k with a barrage. I'm going to be, oh my goodness, what's this?
Yes,
what
it's going to be very...
What have they done to her sniper gun?
And I think me and Shy Guy got off last week. I think we had about 2 pushes where Widow actually played Widow for like 10 seconds each, and we were both super hyped about it. And then he immediately switched back off to Pharah and just made her eat our words. So no confusions at all. It's not a problem, Widow. I hope you come back and watch the VOD, okay? Don't give me a hard time about this. But yeah, Hunky Dory bringing out the Widow username, and it should be a good time. But it was a good team, though. User Wet and Aquatic was their main tanks, and John was the other support. I don't think 2-0 played last week. I think that is a new player this week, so we'll see how the support side's going to be brought up for him.
Well, if you have a new player in your team, this is going to affect your performance a little bit, if not a lot. You do have that dynamic with the 6 usual players, and if you have subs in or people can't make it for a reason, you are at a slight disadvantage already.
Yeah, could be interesting. Also could mean if you've got good rotations, you have trust in other players to bring in. It's pretty cool to have subs that you can come out and do that. So, oh man. As we sit here, by the way, Soesic just lined up all of their logos. They're bringing out the shock. They're all rocking the San Francisco right now. So they're coming in hot right there. We'll see. I'm wondering if this team might be based out of there. They're all just a fan, but they lined up all their icons in game, and they're ready to roll. So we are in the losers bracket. If you guys want to check this out, be sure you're part of the Discord. Jump in the Star Esports Discord. You can follow along. It's the OASB number 2 Discord channel. Got the brackets posted there every day when they're updated. We are in the losers bracket. Hunky Dory just got kicked down last week after losing to Magneterra. Soesic's been in the losers bracket for a little bit. They got a favorable win on their first round where they were able to pick up a forfeit, and then last week they won 3-1 as well. So trying to ride out the lightning in the losers bracket down here. Hunky Dory just trying to stay in.
Well, it feels like I have kind of got a little bit of a losers bracket winning streak, even if one of them was by a default. A victory is still a victory. So you take them where you can get them, and I'm just waiting. You said that Soesic have got the shock logos for Hunky Dory to start locking in the Titans.
Yeah, they are. I think it's all stylized very well. I think it matches. I like them. But yeah, they're all swapping up. They got them get them matched up and everything. But yeah, man, Soesic over here, they're locked in on the San Francisco Shock. So I don't know. Maybe they're bringing in a little good karma for the Shock over here, seeing what they can.
Trying to channel the golden game that the San Francisco Shock seem to have going for them at the moment, but it will be not the Shock that we're casting. We're not quite in Overwatch League, but it's still just as hype at Star Esports. We're seeing a couple of hours coming into the chat, so I think we're going to be jetting off to Lijiang Tower pretty quickly. You said before that Hunky Dory liked to play the Pharah, so I'm sure we'll be seeing a little bit of Pharmacy breaking the ranks today.
I would be very surprised to not immediately see Pharah from Widow on the spot. Guile was pretty much auto-locked Doomfist all match last week. So I expect Guile to be on Doomfist. They played a little bit of Reaper. They kind of swapped off a little bit back and forth to Reaper. But overall, the DPS choice for Hunky Dory was pretty much Doomfist Pharah. I expect to see that again. I would be surprised otherwise. But I guess we'll find out in about 15 seconds here as we get in Game 1 here tonight for Lijiang Tower.
Well, it's risky. You do see a lot of teams breaking out this Doomfist Pharah matchup in the DPS lineups. But it's really risky because they're counted, and hard counted, not just soft counted, by one DPS, and that's McCree.
Yeah, we actually talked about it. It was pretty interesting that you say that. We talked about that last week, Shy Guy and I. The team that they played against, Magneterra, actually didn't pick the hard counter to Pharah. They specifically let the 4 other team members push in, and then they flanked so well that they just capped off 4 players at once, and then the pharmacy was just sitting up top alive, not able to do anything at all. So they took kind of an interesting strat, so I'm going to see how it happens. But as we get started here, Hunky Dory not bringing out either one of them. Guile is going to be on the Doomfist, but Widow going to be sticking on the Reaper for now. So no Pharah coming out for Hunky Dory.
No Symmetra either. Those teleporters just to get out of the spawn ship just a little bit faster.
Yep, and as we get into this, it looks like Soesic was the first one on the point here. Zack attack on the Sigma. Pascal goes down first, though. Going to be followed up quickly with a return kill from Abyss, getting the knockout on the Sigma there by Aquatic. Mighty Owl making it a little bit more in favor of Soesic here, as they were the first one on that point. Point going to be unlocking about 2 seconds. Abyss picking up another one onto John there, and that should give them a point. They're going to wrap up the rest of Hunky Dory. Not a good start for Hunky Dory. Soesic with a 5-1 kill, I think, right there, taking point first.
I mean, it was the first fight, and Abyss already 80% up to the first Meteor Strike. Doomfist is a monster in meta at the moment, and you're really seeing why. Cal is going to be coming up to the Coalescence. That's probably going to be Pop trying to get his team tanks alive.
Yeah, Guile really tried to get in the back line there, got through the Orisa shield and started causing a little bit of havoc, but wasn't enough. Abyss, the doppelganger, going to take him out. Mighty Owl going to follow up as well, doing his job on the Reaper in the background, taking out that big Orisa and also the Sigma. And just like that, Soesic makes it an easy 2-0 victory in these 2 fights right here. Back, and COL, we're going to call him Cal, by the way, the one on Moira right now, already had the ultimate and used it that fight. Somehow earned it up and used it and is already back up. So the ults, and you talked about it, Abyss using his ult as well right there with the slam down. Be able to win that fight pretty handily, already at 50%, making it look easy, not having any chances at all. Hunky Dory tries to push in. Aquatic gets their first pick off of the start here onto the Moira in the background. Abyss, though, going to take out Doomfist as well. The Doomfist trading a little bit more. 2-0 with another kill thanks to the Coalescence on Zack attack with that Sigma. Widow making it another one as well. Now they're starting to find some footing here as Hunky Dory able to walk it in. The only one alive is going to be Mighty Owl. He's going to fall very easily, and they are finally going to recapture this at 70%.
Well, it's still going up, actually. They have to deal with the Doomfist before they can finish getting that point percentage of their own. Mighty Owl is coming up to the Death Blossom, but it's really hard to try and walk through a choke and then go again unnoticed into the backline. Widow's going to have so much easier of an option.
Widow with a good spot. How do they not know he's there? He's still up there. He didn't get any kills out of that. They had no idea. He had the Death Blossom open. He's going to drop it in the middle of the field, but only going to be able to pick up one onto the enemy Reaper as well. The ult's coming out all over the place. Pascal drops the canister in the background for that extra DPS boost. The kill feed started out red, but now has turned itself blue as Abyss going to be able to pick up that kill on the Widow. User Wet goes down as well, thanks to a little bit of Moira, and that should give them the flop here. Couple of here that they could trickle in and defend, but Guile going to go down. And what just happened? How did Widow get all the way behind them, had the Death Blossom, only picked up one, and somehow... I know! He was right up top. It must have been
miscommunication from the team. They must... Well, actually, even then, that's like not the reason, because he was right in front behind them. He knew exactly where they were. But it's a new fight, another day, and it's new ult coming out.
Slam coming down. Guile going to be able to pick up. Guile has been... Or the 2 Doomfists have been going at it, I guess. They've been trading back and forth all over the place. Guile still the one to be alive, though. Going to be able to take out the Moira on the side of Soesic. Make it a third now. Guile getting into this fight aggressively here. And this is going to be his fight to win as they are able to recapture it at 99%. It's going to be a hard defense for Hunky Dory to hold out here for the next 60%.
This is just seesawing. At this moment, one fight goes one team's way, the other fight goes another team's way. This is going to have the Meteor Strike. He doesn't really have to worry about flanking to get that one off, because
Widow and Guile both
drop
now.
In. Widow is back again on this ledge, but they find him out early, and no, the first pick onto the Doomfist.
No, that's going to be huge. Widow and Guile both were up there on Reaper and Doomfist, both trying to creep around, but this time they had their number. Pascal with a great grab, pops them both off the edge. They get the opening kill, and that could open the door here as Soesic just going to walk in onto the point, not even impeded at all. Cowl with the Coalescence just cleaning house right now. Guile still the only one alive, it looks like. But Userwet going to immediately swap over to the Hammond. Didn't get back in time, however. Already recapped. 99%. Overtimer clicking down. Userwet trying to delay as long as possible. This is going to be a long fight for Hunky Dory to try to stay in this at all.
And they have no ult to try it. Too has to stay alive to try and get this Coalescence online.
Still the fight. Pascal on the Orisa, able to drop the damage boost there. Guile trying to do what he can on the outside. Finally goes down. Widow going to be in the middle of the fight here with the Death Blossom as well. Able to pick up one. Not going to find a second one there. Does take out the damage boost, but Mighty Owl going to counter with his own Death Blossom. And finally, they're going to take it. Soesic with the first opening point here, 100% to...
Hunky Dory made some schoolboy errors. They went for the same defensive stance, the same high ground area, where they're obviously not going to get caught out before, again, because now the aggressors, they know where they're going to be. They're going to be looking, they're going to be checking that corner, because if they used it once, there's a chance that they're going to use it again, and they do. And they get caught out and punished for it immediately. They lose the Doomfist. The Reaper has to use Rayform to try and get out, and that's already just the team advantage going to Soesic.
Yeah, they had the opening fight. They were basically going into a 5v6 because they got that opening pick, and you're right, even Reaper was out of the fight for a couple of seconds as he was trying to recover. Weren't able to get it back. The first opportunity with Widow was great. Could have been a beautiful play of the game right there. Didn't end up working out in favor of them, and they tried it with a two-man comp. Didn't work out any better. And see what they can do on point two here. It was close, only 100% to 75. Hunky Dory staying grouped up here. They got the Sim Teleporter. Moxie, you talked about it. Can they get the jump? They got the high ground up above. Immortality Field goes down. They get the clear out pretty easy there. No issues. They still have the high ground, but Symmetra not doing enough. Got the Widow, though, this time on the Bastion with that high ground. Trying to take out a couple, and he will be able to take out Mighty Owl on Reaper. Was trying to get that Lucio in the back, but wasn't able to clean it up. Early Bird just being a little bit too quick, but it is going to give them the opening point. Moxie, what do you feel about that push right there? Symmetra into Bastion.
I mean, this Bastion is locked up tighter than Fort Knox at the moment. They've got the double shields with the Sigma and the Orisa trying to keep him safe. They've got the Batiste making sure that the Immortality Field is always up and available. We're actually seeing Mighty Owl going for a Bastion of his own. It's gonna be a battle of the bots. However, Hunky Dory have been able to set up first, and they have this teleporter on the high ground in case things get hairy for Widow.
Yeah, this is beautiful. They got the teleporter up there. They had their supports separated just for some long distance heals, but they were able to get their supports out safely as well. It looks like Soesic wants to take this high ground. The shield already been popped for both of them. The amount of shield break right now is just out of this world coming from Hunky Dory. They go through both the Orisa and the Sigma shield. That's going to open up the opportunity to start slaying out some heroes, and they will. Widow going to take out his doppelganger and Sigma right there. Mighty Owl going to get the res, though. He's not going to be able to set up on the point. Going to get immediately burnt down. The kill feed is just flowing red right here. 50%. Hunky Dory holding down strong.
It's rivers of blood, and it's not looking like that Flash Flood is going to let up anytime soon. Widow has his ultimate, Gal has Wall, so in case Mighty Owl decides to get any smart ideas, that Sim Wall is just going to be coming straight down in front of Widow. The Bastion is going to be sitting snug and safe behind 3 layers of cover.
Yeah, I mean, Soesic's going to have to find something here. They're trying to do the counter Bastion. Mighty set up in the background, but as they're trying to push in, their shields are just getting melted down so quickly. There is the damage from the Baptiste. Is it going to be enough? They just move out of the way, though. They see the damage field. That was just a great play right there from Hunky Dory. Go up there and taking the high ground. They see the damage window. They just immediately take the high ground, jump up there. The kill feed's all red once again. Widow and Guile all over it right there. And they're going to push him into this doorway, 90%. They got maybe one more opportunity here. Don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off.
This is something you can't counter with a Bastion. This is something you need a Sombra for. You need EMP to just crack this wide open. There's too many shields in front of Widow. The war of attrition is going to go in the favor of the defenders, who have the teleporter up and can escape. You're going through one choke. You have to manage to survive bullet hell.
Yeah, they got one more opportunity here. Overtimer is ticking down, but it's still all red. Nobody able to get any pickups here at the moment from Soesic. Hunky Dory made that point look easy. The Bastion just sitting up here on the top. No issues at all. 100% to 0. They're going to tie this game right.
Widow didn't even need to ult. Not once!
Not once!
The Bastion didn't pop ultimate once. It moved around the teleporters a couple of times from low to high ground, but it didn't pop ult.
I was kind of surprised when they started doing that they didn't push out and try to cover that choke point at the kind of by the spawn door right before they get into that main room. But when you've got the kind of tank strategy like that, you've got the walls set up, you got the teleporters were beautiful, didn't even have to come out of his form to go back and forth out of the way, and he kept laying down damage. Beautiful play right there, good teamwork. Hunky Dory, that was a solid 100% to 0. That wasn't even like a close. They took it like 75% of the capture. I don't even think Soesic got on the point there. It was just
No, they didn't.
annihilating.
Or if they did, it was a corpse's finger managing to get over the circle. Widow is going to be on the Pharah that you've promised. Guile is going to swap off the Sim and onto the Doomfist. So once again, teleporter just used to get the team a little bit closer to point.
Yep, and we see Abyss already over here kind of sneaking around this back doorway. Going to try to get a pick off here. We're going to see what Widow can do. Widow, I talked you up. Don't let me down. I saw you last week pull out the big Ferris strats. We'll see what's happening. Aquatic, though, going to be the one to open up with the Rock Slam right there. Takes the Doomfist out of the fight. It's going to be a 65 for this opener right here in favor of Hunky Dory. Mighty Owl trying to get around behind onto that Orisa in the background on User Wet. Not going to be enough, though. Widow going to take out the counter Orisa on Pascal. Guile making it 2. And that should be a nice, easy capture for them as everybody has gone down. Abyss got a quick respawn as he got taken out early, but that was an official 6-man wipeout on that first push.
This is when you need to swap Mighty Owl off Reaper. Reaper isn't countering either the Doomfist or the Pharah, and you're seeing it in the ult charges. Widow has barrage up. Guile is almost at his first meteor strike, and once again, the point's only just unlocked. You don't have your sign barrier. The Lucio's gone, so you don't need to worry about it. You can just drop in the back and barrage, and that's an opportunity that they're looking for. You can see them right now.
They're grouped up and they're tight. Widow trying to peek around, not get picked off, doing some great threads right here through these windows, just laying down damage. The ult still charging up on the side of Hunky Dory as well. They've got 3 ready and 2 more coming very soon here. As Soesic is just trapped in here. They don't know what to do.
Yeah, well, they let the Lucio in, so now they do have that second healer, but here comes the barrage!
Barrage in the background, not going to connect on anybody, though. The only player down right now is Guile. Pascal going to make it a second one for the side of Soesic. But John gets the res on the Doomfist here, so it's going to even it back up a little bit. Pascal gets a nice little melee onto, should be all in favor of Soesic right now. Hunky Dory just backing out. The Meteor Strike coming in from Guile right on top of the point. Not able to find anybody. Mighty Owl going to take out the support in the background on 2-0. And while that's all going on, they do get the flip. Widow has joined back into the fight from afar here, but not going to be enough as they're just going to have to regroup and start letting that blue tick up.
Soesic need to start locking down this Mercy. John is getting away with absolute murder. I was following his perspective, and he got separated, tried to rotate into the whole of the enemy team, managed to survive, managed to drift away, get back to the Pharah, and only then does he get picked up at the very end of the fight. You need to start punishing this Mercy.
Yep. Go for the Mercy, not for the Pharah always. Here comes the Valkyrie, going to keep him up and high, out of the way. User Wet also dropping the ults. The ults are coming out all over the place. There's the Death Blossom from Mighty Owl. Make it a quad. And that is going to stop this push in their tracks. Widow trying to get away. A late stagger pick on this would be huge. Only about 5 more HP will go down as the Rift's able to snap him out of the sky, but not before taking her with him, as they will both fall. But it's going to be in favor of the defense as they're going to have to wait for their main DPS to regen. Got the barrage once again, though. There's the res from John. It's going to make that respawn come in way quicker here as we're getting tied back up in percentages. A great double kill from Early Bird, though. The Lucio with the environment will put a stop to this push once again as the blue just keeps going up.
Yeah, the Early Bird gets the worm, or in this case the boop, the 2 tanks immediately off the side. That's waiting again. You're still trying to look for an opportunity on this barrage, but if we're gonna be honest, it's probably gonna go into Zacatak's shield or Pascal's.
Yeah, there's a good opportunity. There's a lot of shields in the way to get through here. And they even had it cheeked out earlier, Moxie, where they were stuck in that background, and you had a great opportunity from Widow, but didn't able to capitalize it. There's the barrage, as we talked about. Immediately gets picked off, though. Abyss was ready. Slams her into the wall. Down Widow will go. John going to try to bring Orisa back into this fight. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. It's a 65 right now in favor of Soesic. We're almost to that overtime right now. They got to hold on for one more fight, and they're going to take this match 2-1. Going to be able to recap Zacatak on there with the melee, getting User Wet taken out. They're coming back, though. Hunky Dory somehow turning this around. It opened with Guile, and 2-0 on the Moira. Gets a triple. Early Bird will just jump off the map to get the... What a retake right there from Hunky Dory, and shout-outs to 2-0 on the Moira with the triple to just clear them off the point.
Well, 2-0 was alive. Cal was not. Cal had Coalescence up. So his team is without their main healer, because at least if you're Hunky Dory, if you lose the Mercy, you've got the Moira, and vice versa. If you lose your Moira and your Soesic, you've got a Lucio. And I hate to tell you, but Lucio ain't got no sustain.
Yep. Wasn't enough there for sure. Guile trying to open it up with the Meteor Strike. They're all grouped up inside. Widow going to get a nice pick off onto Early Bird. He's going to go down a little bit to Early Bird. He's the first one out of this fight. Once again, Lucio not going to be here for him. 65. Abyss going to open it back up. The Coalescence this time coming out from Cole. Where's going to be able to find the damage on it? not as much as 2-0 was in the last fight. Widow has the barrage once again, gonna try to open up right from behind, gets taken out immediately though, stunned down, and the barrage gets completely wasted right there. Not a single bit of damage. The overtimer is ticking back down. Somehow Soesic recaptured it during all that madness. I didn't even see him flip it. It's 99 to 99. And his madness here on the point. There's the Doom, or the Death Blossom coming out from Mighty. The kill feed is back and forth. It's just a couple supports now. User Wet swapped over to the Hammond already. Back onto the point. 2-0's back here on the Moira, trying to keep him alive. Gets a nice little kill onto Mighty Owl right there. The flip might be coming out once again at 99%. Early Bird trying to delay as much as he can. They almost walked off the point there. User Wet barely gets back in time. Now he's going to have to fight another one as Pascal is swapped off to Hammond as well. The bowling balls are knocking each other around in here. Damage is going out. Abyss able to pick up a couple. Widow tried to swap onto the Symmetra just to get the teleporter back to the point in time. Nobody able to recapture this yet. Moxie, I'm losing my mind here. What's happening?
Well, at the moment, all of the kills are going in favor of Soesic, and Hunky Dory almost walked off the point immediately.
That's all blue. Guile able to get a retake on the Tracer. Nobody there for it that time, though. And just like that, Soesic able to creep it out. The fast overtimer ticks down immediately. And Hammond was there, but just outside the point. Good long fight from Soesic. And they were able to take that first game 2-1.
Yeah, but you do see signs coming from Hunky Dory. They're most definitely not dead in the water. This Bastion defense was absolutely textbook. Look, he doesn't even need to put the ult in, knows that he has them exactly where he wants them, and is just like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yep, getting that 10-player streak as well. That seems about right for that one, as I think there was about 3 or 4 pushes in a row from Soesic that all just died before they even got to the point. 2-0, we saw him get that fat triple kill in the middle of that fight. 70% kill participation coming out from the Moira, looking strong on Hunky Dory. Not quite enough. It was 1-1 and then tied 99 to 99%. So about as close as you can possibly get, but Soesic just able to squeak out the first game.
Yeah, able to eke it out in the last little bits of that map. It looked like it was lost. I would for sure have given it over to Hunky Dory, especially when that overtime bar started ticking down. But then Soesic managed to just pull it out of the bag. They had a little bit more ult percentage in the bank, so at least they would have a couple of things to call in on. And Hunky Dory, they tried using the Meteor Strike to get their Doomfist in, but that overtime bar had just been ticking so far and so long that it just went down almost immediately.
Yeah, it did not take long. Was it User Wet? I think that had swapped right over to the Hammond immediately. He was just right outside the door. He was doing his Hammond thing, trying to knock people around. Got off of it for just a blink of an eye. That was all it took. Nobody else was there for him. Yeah, and when you got overtime, that was, 45 seconds worth of overtimer tick probably right there. That was after the overtimer had already started on the side of Hunky Dory, and Soesic was able to recapture it in overtime, hold it for another 45 seconds or so, and then still squeak it out at the end there. So really good, mental fortitude from Soesic. Nobody gave up. The kill feed was going back and forth. Everybody was swapping heroes quickly. We saw Widow swap over to the Symmetra, trying to get that teleporter just to get the rush back. I think it was Abyss that we saw switch over to the Tracer to get back to the point, and got taken out very quick as well. So a lot of really quick hero picks right there, back and forth, trying to get to the point. It was a close fight right there at the end. I can't wait to see what Game 2's bringing, and it looks like we're going to Volskaya.
Yeah, well, Soesic do get to choose that ban map, and they go with Eichenwald, which I don't think comes as much as a surprise, because if Hunky Dory like to run this Farah, then Farah can find some real value on Eichenwald.
I'm curious, actually, if Soesic did their research or not and checked out last week, because last week they did play on Eichenwald with Hunky Dory, and exactly what you said, the pharmacy that they run seems pretty consistently was a dominating performance last week on Eichenwald. So I'm curious to see if they did their research. Maybe they just realized from that game that Widow was getting 3 barrages per round right there, and they don't want to deal with that on the Eichenwald cart push. But regardless, either way it goes, they're getting rid of it. They don't want to go there.
No, Soesic, you have to kind of, I would say, so we have to talk about MVP. And there's only been one map, I know. But there are 2 names in the hat for me currently, and both of them are tanks from Soesic, because they have this Farah's number read and written. As soon as they come in trying to get a barrage, it's immediately, oh, there's a Farah. Let's put a shield in front of her. She finds 0 value.
Absolutely true. And also we saw, I can't remember, it was whoever was playing Sigma. I missed what tank was playing Sigma for the side of Soesic. But as Widow popped the barrage and immediately got rocked out of the air. There was no damage done. It got just enough time, wasted the ultimate completely. So it doesn't matter how fast you can earn that ultimate if you're going to get stunned out of the air as soon as you try to pop it. So you're right. Some great plays from the side of Soesic's tanks. I 100% agree. And I would also like to give a shout out to 2-0. 2-0 with the huge damage coming out from Moira, getting those big heals and everything, but we saw that massive triple kill that happened in one of those fights to get the retake. So 2-0 as well from the support side of Hunky Dory, bringing out some amazing plays also.
See, I don't know about you, but I still have remaining PTSD from seeing all of the DPS Moiras coming out of my games.
Yeah, it gets a little spooky, you know, but I guess if you're a 2-0, you can show up and do that because it does.
Yeah, but your team, they don't need healing if all of the enemy are dead.
Exactly. It's exactly.
It's the Zenyatta approach to Overwatch is essentially what it is.
Hey, everybody go check my icon on Overwatch. It's Zenyatta. Love me some Zen. That DPS support player is where it's at. So I feel it. I'm digging it.
Yeah, it's 2-2-2 unless you're a Zen main, in which case it's 2-3-2.
Right, exactly. You get an extra player. All right, coming into game 2. Well, you talked about it a little bit. Moxie mentioned it. Make sure you guys are checking it out at the bottom below the Twitch panel beneath the video. Go vote for your MVP. Maybe hold off. Maybe hold off on casting your vote for a little bit. We're only one game in. See how this game 2 or game 3 goes here pretty shortly here. Soesic Esports on the red team versus Hunky Dory News on the left. Soesic up 1-0 coming into Voskaya. And just off the bat, immediately we see it, Moxie. Widow off the spot, raining in damage.
Well, this is when, yeah, we're seeing it. Ab is swapping off the Symmetry because they can't go for the teleport strap because Widow will just be waiting with that concussive blast, boop them all off the edge and get that 6k play of the game that every smug Farah is trying to get on Volskaya attack at the moment.
It is a good one. When it gets on the Reddit thread, then everybody knows about it, and you can't do it for about another month until everybody leaves the clip in there. But as the moment, I agree with you. That would have been a nice play, but they don't fall for it. One pick for start the game right here, though. It's going to shut down the offense immediately. Got to follow it up, though. Great stagger from Widow. John and Widow chasing down Lucio back there in the background. Immediately get the big and not going to allow them to get in here. I actually kind of just checking it out, by the way. Maybe some disconnect issues. I'm wondering if we're going to see anything. Zack Attack right now, not really moving back here on the Sigma. There he finally comes out, so might have having some computer issues.
Oh,
they were
I don't
man
think
down.
it was DC issues. He got taken out first. The Lucio goes back to try and ferry the Sigma. The Lucio gets taken out, so the Sigma sticks around to try and play bodyguard.
Yeah, that's fair. Good play then. Good heads up. I'm glad you're casting because I missed. He was just standing very still, and there was about 30 seconds of him not moving, and I started panicking a little bit.
It's okay. They are still playing, and they are still trying to attack this point.
Yep, they come up here, meet him on the high ground, but Widow already has the barrage, gets the triple off the start. That's going to end that push pretty aggressively here. They're going to keep going. Zack Attack able to pick one up, though. John going to bring Guile up as well here on the Bastion, and that should allow them to get this defense reset here. They're going to do a great stagger onto Cole. They waited a long time for the Moira, so another extra 10 seconds or so as they wait for the respawn there. But we saw it once again. Widow had already earned a barrage. Chased down that Lucio, chased down that Sigma, got the barrage. Next fight hasn't even started yet. 35%, no big deal. Just another Sunday night.
Well, if you get past the Farah, you're going to be trying to get past a Bastion who's going to be sat behind double shielding and the Vitesse amplification matrix. They're going for the same approach, and they're all just going to be hemmed up in this room, which leaves Widow just free to rain rockets into whichever door he wants. There's only one way out.
Yeah, good use of Sigma shield there to protect them as they went by, but they're still chucking in a little bit of damage. Already up to that 70% ult charge. Just a couple more rockets. We'll have another. Here comes the damage for Guile right here from Baptiste, or 2-0 on Baptiste. Going to get a double kill right there on the back. Goodbye, Orisa. Goodbye, Moira. You're going to have to walk back. Aquatic going to get in on the fight, on the fun as well. Widow going to clear it up, and Mighty Owl doesn't want to deal with it anymore. Getting the reset. Got another couple opportunities here. Jumps off the edge. Easy defense from Hunky Dory. So,
well, if you're Soesic, it's looking really grim for you, because you just lost that entire fight off one ultimate. You lost it off the back of Tua's amplification matrix. And so it's textbook ultimate economy coming from Hunky Dory, who now they can decide whether they want to put barrage in, whether they want to put tank mode in, whether they want to put supercharges in, and that's 60 seconds left. If you're a Soesic, you've got a Coalescence.
which they just used. We're going to see if they can get anything off. They're trying to lay damage in up top, but the damage coming out from User Wet going to be greater as the canister is popped. Guile finally going to pop that Bastion ult. We saw him not have to use it in the whole last match. He's going to use it here. Picks up a couple. Easy double kill right there. 35 seconds left. They're going to get a great stagger onto Cole once again. Late kill onto the Moira. One more push if they're fast from Soesic coming out here. However, they did, on the side of Hunky Dory, they committed quite a few ultimates there. They've still got the barrage. They've still got the gravity slam from Aquatic, but a couple went in to hold that point.
Yeah, but they do have 2 really impactful ultimates. Widow has been getting shut down quite a lot on the barrage, not so much on Volskaya, but if you time it and you manage to get barrage going off as they all slam down the ground from Aquatic's flex, that is going to be devastating. Early Bird doesn't have sign barrier.
Zack Attack tried his best on Hammond to get up behind and get him bumped off, but it didn't matter as Mighty Owl was the one who's going to come up there, and Lucio as well. Early Bird actually knocked him off the high ground. Might help him a little bit. Widow's still doing all the work right now, though. The damage coming out from the Pharah is just immense. Gets the res onto User Wet as well. That Mercy coming in so strong on this defense. And I think just like that, not even a third of a tick on the board, Hunky Dory, I think, going to be able to hold this one out, no issues.
Soesic just didn't pick the counters. If the Pharah is being a menace, then you just need to have one person on your DPS team go, okay, she's not really playing around cover, she's right up in the sky as soon as we walk out of spawn. Give me 5 seconds on Widow, dink the head of the Mercy, dink the head of the Pharah. Your team is then at a 2-person advantage. You march straight through.
Yeah, and the run back on the defense right now is so long. That's why they're picking that Mercy for those easy res. But if you can get the Mercy picked off first, you got a long run back on Volskaya to get to this first point. And on offense, you can do it. If you want to keep the Widow in the fight, you keep the Widow. Otherwise, you just swap off and get right back into it before that Mercy's even going to be close. No counter picks there that we saw. And I kind of mentioned it to you earlier, Moxie. This is kind of what we saw the choice from Magneterra last week when they went up against the Pharmacy so strong. But they didn't decide to counter it, and it worked out for them. They forced the enemy team to come to them and fight them on their own terms, 4v6, and they just kind of let Widow on Pharah do his own thing. But here it's just not working out at all for Soesic.
Well, if you're attacking Volskaya, you simply can't let the defenders come to you. You have to go to the defenders. You have to go to the point so the defenders can always be set up knowing that you have to play around getting that point. And it is just an absolute advantage to the defenders because they can set up wherever they want. They can decide where the fight happens. If you want to ignore a Pharah, you do so at your own peril, and it pays out absolute dividends for Hunky Dory, and Soesic are left a little bit scratching their heads wondering what exactly went wrong.
Yeah, a little bit too late to try to figure it out at this point. They are going to do almost an identical strat here. Got the Bastion set up with the double shield on this high ground here. The Pharmacy just trying to rain in damage. We're going to see what Abyss can do. Abyss going to try to make his name known as well. This is also what we saw. Moxie, I wasn't going to call it out, but we saw this last week. Magneterra tried to match Widow in the Pharah v Pharah, and the dogfighting coming out from Widow was astounding. So we're going to see if we can see that again. It's going to be Pharah v Pharah, Abyss on it, and Widow on it. Widow in the background, though, came all the way out and around, is trying to take this bunker out of the game, and not enough damage right there, but already up to that 40% ult charge while Abyss is only at 20. Could be a battle of the barrages so you can get there first.
Well, it's probably going to be Widow considering almost 60% up. Yeah, doing a little bit less on the Bastion, but 2-0 is the one who's really in danger at the moment. Dropped so low. Still so low.
Yeah, it hasn't been healed up yet. Still hanging out in the background, but hasn't gone down either. They're finally getting rezzed. Here comes the dogfighting from Abyss and Widow. While the dogfight's going on, though, Widow's got his eyes on somebody else, takes the Bastion off the defensive point right there, and just like that, the fight could be over. Cole able to get the res on Bastion, but it doesn't matter. 2-0's there on the Baptiste to take him out, and I think that is going to wrap it up. A quick Volskaya for us here. Only 1/3 of the point is needed. Hunky Dory, get out of the skies. Don't contest Widow in the air. Pharah too strong. Can't handle it. Abyss tried. Didn't actually work out for him. Unfortunate.
Yeah, Abyss wasn't the one who got the kill onto Widow. It was actually his Mercy. Right at the end, both the Mercies take out both the Pharahs.
Yeah, that was a little bit brutal. I really love the play from Widow that we saw. They were in the dogfight, but he said, nah, I'm not going after you. I'm not scared of you, Abyss. I'm not scared of Pharah. I know how to play Pharah. I'm going after the Bastion so the rest of my team can come in and clean up the point, and that's exactly what happened. Once again, though, on the scorecards, real quick, 2-0. He's a 70% kill participation last time, 72% kill participation this time on Baptiste. Get that man a DPS hero.
I do wonder what Tula would be like if he switches to the Zenyatta. I think I would be ducking for cover, as would quite a lot of the enemy, because those orbs, they do fly quite fast.
Yeah, headshots galore coming out, 2-0 all over it with the kill participation. He's doing his job at keeping the support alive, but the extra damage coming out from him has been immense. So just like that, Hunky Dory's taking it 2-0 right now. One more, and they will be staying in this losers bracket. One more loss for Soesic, that means they'll be out of here. The double elim. This is going to be their second loss if they can't bring it back here. It's going to be after a full reverse sweep for Soesic. I'd love to see it. That's one of my favorite things. Watching games, playing games, casting, whatever it be. The reverse sweep is what I live for.
Yeah, the underdog story. Your heart always goes out to teams that just get swept under the rug 3-0. It's horrible to see. It's horrible to be played. And it's pretty horrible to cast because it means that we have casting for such a short time.
I know. This could be a short one. It could be over quick. But if this one is going 3-0, it has been earned on the wings of Widow here, as he has been doing such a good job. Did it last week as well. Wasn't able to pull out the victory against Magneterra, but we saw it last week as well. The strength is just so good from Widow. The amount of ult generation, the amount of damage going out. And then when he gets countered by another Pharah, doesn't matter. Just takes them out of the sky or ignores them and takes out another key hero. Yeah, it's been really, really good play. So I don't want to try not to downplay everybody else, but that's the name that I keep seeing on the kill feed the most. That's the name that seems like it's making the biggest plays for me tonight.
Well, see, you say Widow, I say Guile. So you say, oh yes, the Pharah is the one getting the kills, right? Because the Pharah isn't the one that they're really worried about. Because you have Guile on the Bastion, especially on that Volskaya. Because you know that the defenders are going to be busting out of Pharah after they saw exactly how well Hunky Dory were able to defend. So what you do is you have your Pharah take out their Bastion, but you run an attack Bastion to take out their Pharah.
That's true. The big 200 IQ strat to pre-meta your team when you know you're so good that they can't keep up with your own counter picks before they even see it. So,
well, Avis was running on 25% ult charge, right?
Right.
Because he couldn't fly anywhere because if he tried to come out of the open, he was mown down by a Bastion.
Right. So is that just, do you think that's just the evasiveness of Widow on Pharah, just knows how to keep that hero bobbing and weaving enough, knows how to peek those corners? I have seen him, he's been threading needles through windows, he's been peeking corners really well, just not given the exposure needed to be able to get the pickoffs right there. So maybe even if they do the counter pick with McCree or Widow, the player name on Pharah, not going to expose himself enough to give that opportunity to get taken out, so...
He's elusive, like a spider, like a Widowmaker, but he's going to be playing the sky instead of these horrible little narrow corridors. Mighty Owl going to go for the Reaper pick, trying to chunk down the tanks. That's a risky play because, once again, you have no one to deal with Widow on this Pharah.
Yeah, once again, and Widow just in the background, up here with John, just kind of raining in damage already. See if it works out. We saw right off the bat both teams using the Symmetra chat, so they met here in the middle. Right now, the ground is losing in favor of Soesic as they're up on this top point. Abyss going to be the first couple to bring it out, but it immediately gets taken down by Widow as well. The 5v4 in favor of Soesic right now. They are able to capture the point first, so that is pretty massive. Now all they have to do is sit here and delay and start earning percentage for themselves. As John able to get a res onto Arista there to bring it back up. Widow still up here, uncontested entirely though on the Pharah. That's a second kill for him on this point. Trying to go after Lucio on the or early bird on Lucio. Not able to finish him off there, but Widow already has the barrage. There it is, open it up on it, make it a double right off the bat. One more for Guile, make it 2, and that should give them the recapture, as all they did was let Pharah chunk up that ultimate, got it, used it, and then recaptured the point.
This just feels like deja vu. I feel like we're saying the same sentence over and over and over. Widow goes uncontested, manages to get the barrage off, survives the barrage, which is a feat most impressive for any Pharah player, let alone one in a competitive tournament when there's 6 players immediately turning their eyes to you as soon as you press Q. It's just going unpunished and finding so much value because of it. Again, the pick onto the Doomfist. Yeah,
pick on the Doomfist. Guile in the background got the Lucio as well. Guile still has his ultimate as well. Didn't he need to use it right there? 2-0, 2 more. Getting the 2-0 kill as on Moira, taking out his doppelganger, still looking so strong. Everybody on Hunky Dory, I feel like they're getting better, Moxie. They're getting better.
Well, if you're early bird, what do you do? Because you're stuck in this horrible dilemma. You've got Sign Barrier, you know Widow is coming up to a barrage. You also know Aquatic is going to have this Flux online for the next fight. You pop it before any ults get thrown in. Okay.
There, yeah, popped it immediately. Almost got taken out anyway. Coalescence coming out from Cole as well. All the ults coming out on the side of Hunky Dory. Everybody but Aquatic and User Wet has dropped it right there. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I thought Widow dropped the barrage, but didn't. Just taken out Pascal with the good old left click rockets. 2-0 on the board again. Another clean wipe. 70% going to be here for Hunky Dory. We saw Soesic able to take the first point tonight, but right now just struggling to get their footing as they try to keep up with this massive damage coming out from Hunky Dory.
They try to pop Sign Barrier to let them go aggressively, but it just doesn't work, and they don't manage to bleed any ultimates out of the enemy. And so you don't have Sign Barrier for either the barrage or the Flex, and the Flex comes out immediately.
Flux out from both the Sigmas here. You can see if it comes out in favor of either one. The Reaper will drop as well. Mighty Owl. Here comes the barrage. Not going to get anybody with the barrage. Took out Cole all by himself with just the rockets. It is a 3v3 here on the point. It is very even. The Reds coming out on a 2-0. 2-0 on that DPS Moira. Going to try to pull it out here. Mighty Owl still hanging out on the Reaper after that big Death Blossom to open this fight off. Early Bird, finally, somebody takes the Widow out. That might be the first death of Widow that we've seen. Comes out from a Lucio. They're about 75% trying to get this point recaptured. The fight in the background over here, the two Doomfists fighting over each other. And while that's going on, they finally are able to retake it. So Soesic getting back on the board here. Early Bird gets a double environmental kill again, I think. I think that we saw him earlier do that on Li Zhang. And that does give them the opportunity here to hold this defense.
Widow actually swaps off the Pharah and onto the Reaper, trying to match Mighty Owl. Cal is going to have Coalescence. That's probably going to be popped almost immediately as soon as the attackers decide to properly commit to a fight. You don't have any ultimates other than 2-0's own Coalescence to worry about, and Gael's Meteor Strike, so he's probably going to pop that onto a tank or Squishy.
Yep, both of them coming out. Both the Coalescences are free already. Here comes the Meteor Strike. 2 kills already going in favor of Hunky Dory, however, as Doomfist will get taken out. There is the Reaper ult from Mighty Owl. He's going to be able to pick up a double kill. Evens out this fight just a little bit. Another great ult from Mighty, but he will get taken out and they will be able to clean it up. Hunky Dory able to recapture this easily. A late trickle in Early Bird and an Abyss, but they are going to be able to recapture it. Pascal not there early enough on Hammond, and now it's just going to be a stall game, as this is going to be the first point of Nepal in favor of Hunky Dory, unless they can get some kind of magical recap from Soesic.
Well, Widow has Death Blossom pops it as soon as they try to go up those stairs. It's going to be very difficult to retake this point.
The kill feed still staying blue. Right now at this point, it just feels like they're farming kills, and that is going to do it officially. A good stall out opportunity from Soesic. They got a good retake in the middle there. Opened up the map strong. Got a great retake in the middle, but the ult economy at that point, I think, was just all in favor of Hunky Dory, and it was hard to hold out. 100% to 79, I believe, the official top. One game away for Hunky Dory to stay in this loser's bracket and go 3-0.
And Widow is just getting to play whatever the hell he wants and gets to play it completely unpunished because doesn't get punished as the Pharah. And then I look up and he swaps to the Reaper and I'm like, he's probably not going to get much value. Look at the kill feed a couple of minutes later. Oh, he's got a triple. Ha! Huh.
It seems like he was almost playing the Pharah just until he died. As soon as he finally died, he got taken out once. He was like, oh, okay, I can swap heroes now. Swap over to the Reaper. We'll just stay on the ground now. I got taken.
Maybe it was the deal with his mercy. He plays Pharah until he dies and then he swaps to Reaper.
That's right. All right, one more opportunity for Soesic to stay in it, and one more needed for Hunky Dory here. Hunky Dory on your blue team. Soesic on the right. Hunky already opening it up. Guile taking out the Doppelganger right there. The two Doomfists going at each other. Going to be in favor of Guile right there. Another one for 2-0. A double for him as well. Once again, a triple coming out for 2-0. Make it a quad. Settle down, sir. You're on a support hero. I need you to relax. Quad kill coming out for 2-0. Make it a 4-0 right there. Easy capture for Hunky Dory.
I mean, quad and then to add poison to the wounds. You've got it as a melee kill in the feed as well. 2-0, 51% to Coalescence. He's probably going to hit ult even before his damage heroes have.
Yeah, Guile on the Doomfist got the opening 2 kills. He gets a solo kill onto Abyss right now, just now. 2-0, you're a madman. I need you to calm down. Make it another one right there as well. Is Early Bird going to fall also? He doesn't even need to play a support here. You guys don't need any healing. Moxie, I'm taking the words out of your mouth. You said it earlier. You don't need to heal your team if you kill the rest of your enemies, and that's what he's doing right now. The most aggressive Moira play I think I've seen. Beautiful.
Yeah, and isn't getting punished for it. In fact, Mighty Owl does this really weird rotation where he thinks he can't be seen even though he's a Reaper who's walking around with suspens in his cloak in the backline. Doesn't manage to find any value, and it's just going to be Soesic trying to get through this first choke.
And right there, as you talk about coming through the choke point, he's already got the Coalescence up. We'll be able to use it. Gets a double kill off of it, plus a little bit more there, helping out User Wet, take out They're stuck in the choke point here. The kills are going back and forth, but there's still a lot of blue alive. Abyss trying to do what he can. He's got the meteor strike. I think that was mostly even to survive and just get out of the fight. He does go up and over the building, regroups with his team right there. So a little bit of a loss efficiency off of Abyss, but not going to matter. Gets regrouped up. They got one more opportunity, maybe two if it's fast, but realistically, this is probably the last fight Soesic has.
And it's looking extremely grim if you look at these ultimates, and they're all online for Hunky Dory.
Yep, it's going to be a lot of check marks over there. The slam will come out, takes Abyss out. Guile going to pick up a melee, make it 2. Widow with Death Blossom just for the cleanup. 88%. They're 10% away from taking this match, staying in this loser's bracket. Soesic going to have to bring out something just miraculous right here. 5%. Don't even know if they're going to get back to the point. Guile is waiting for Abyss right here. He sees Abyss coming. They try to fight for the doorway. Abyss going to try to get there. Doesn't make it in time, and that's going to wrap it up. Hunky Dory with a substantial 3-0.
I mean, it was an absolute massacre. After that first map, it was just a landslide of mistakes and plays that just weren't being punished. They weren't clamping down on the supports. They weren't locking up the back line. They weren't pressuring the front line. If they tried to go for a flank, then they just weren't able to find it. And Widow, just so much value coming up on that kill feed, almost 75%. And if it wasn't Widow, it was 2-0.
Yeah, both of them were just insane. As we see it again, 2-0 getting 3 cards. I think it was 70%, 73%, and 77% kill participation from the Moira. I said it earlier, I'll quote myself again. I think Hunky Dory just kept getting better. They did not slow down. They were struggling a little bit in the very first point of the first game against Soesic. Soesic came out so strong. They weren't able to keep their footing, though, and they just started falling apart right there. Hunky Dory, beautiful, beautiful games.
It just fell apart. So it's like they weren't able to recapture the magic of that first map, of that first part of the map, because as soon as it went to Control Center on Lijiang, they just couldn't find a way to lock up the Bastion, and I don't know if that threw them for a loop or just dislodged their performance and their mentality.
I don't know.
It was suddenly just this landslide of, oh, they don't deal with this problem, and then this pops up, and Twaz, I have to ask you, are there still McCree mains in Overwatch 2019?
Apparently not. It does not seem to be the case. Also, I would like to reset because I'm sitting here as I'm too excited about the game right now. We've got at least one more. I thought that was 3. I don't know where I got confused, if we switched from Lijiang to Nepal and I lost my mind, but we got one more at least coming out here, so we're going to figure that out real quick. But yeah, I don't know. This is what happened last week, Moxie, and it threw me off. The Pharah was just so strong and on the high ground, and nobody picked what I would consider a standard direct counter. No widows, no McCrees. Yeah, nothing. There was absolutely nothing. The ones that you would seem to go to. Now, last week, it worked out somehow in favor of Magneterra. They were able to get through this powerhouse powerhouse Pharah, and get through it without too many issues. They were able to win the series 3-1, but it was a close 3-1. Soesic not able to do the same.
Yeah, that's struggling not just a little, just a lot. It's
a lot, yeah.
It's sometimes quite painful. You do see some really stellar plays early bird with these environmental boops, just manages to pull them out of the hat, gets 2 of the tanks off and 2 of the supports off, really doing his job. And he's sitting in comms going like, yeah, I'm doing what I should be doing, apart from that sign barrier. That was far too early, and I would say that his team lost Shrine off the back of that sign barrier, because if you use sign barrier, you need it to at least counter 1 ultimate. And they put it out to go aggressive, which can work sometimes if you have the time to let your team go aggressively. If you know you're walking into 2 ultimates at least, then you have to try and just squeeze all of your support defensive ultimates as long as you possibly can. And early bird, he goes for a rather embarrassing death, after which he gets taken out by one of Tuo's damage balls. Yeah,
and Tuo has been substantial as well. I'm sure the healing's going out. We don't really get the cards for the healing nearly as much. I can't see the stats super as often, but it's been pretty awesome seeing the Moira on the kill feed as much. And it hasn't even been like, oh, each fight he takes out like 1 player. It's been like, oh, there's like 3 or 4 fights where a Moira is getting a triple kill or a quadruple kill and just cleaning up the kill feed. And it's been really, really awesome to see that kind of a play come out from a aggressive support player. So
Moira at the moment, like Doomfist, is monster in the meta. You go into either quick play or competitive ladder tournaments, and almost everyone has a Moira out now because she puts down so much burst healing. You can have that orb going out, healing your entire team, especially if you manage to get the angles. You can just bounce that ball, and it just seems to go on and on and on. A little bit like one of those the ping pong tables where you like have it and it just goes boof boof boof. I
Right.
don't know what
You
the
just play
actual
yourself.
official name for that one is.
I think it's official that at least under the control of 2-0 that Moira has taken Hanzo's perspective of Master of Geometry, bouncing around those corners. Even Sigma with the new hero with the bouncing around the corners, not able to keep up when you've got 2-0 playing. Looks like we are going to be coming up to Watch Point Gibraltar for our game number 4. To be clear, by the way, Moxie, because I've been saying it out loud, I forgot that in the very first game we saw them, they tied them up 1-1 on the control point, and Hunky Dory snuck out that very final 99% to 99%. So it is 2-1. I know you guys at home have the overlay. Don't shoot me. I'm just the entertainment. I'm here for your fun, but don't be mad at me. It's okay. And tied up or bringing it up here 1-2. But Hunky Dory's been on such a power roll right now. It just doesn't. It didn't feel like it as a 1-2 as they've been doing so good. But Soesic still in it as they only have to bring back 2 more. So it was my mistake on the earlier callouts.
Well, Soesic's comms are going to be sighs of relief at the moment because we're actually seeing a sub. Widow is going to be going onto the bench, and Theodosa is actually going to be joining. You've cast Hunky Dory before. Have you ever observed their DPS?
I don't think I saw Theodosia last week, but they did this similarly where they were at the very end, they swapped out. I think Widow as well. I think Widow subbed out at the very end also. And I don't know if it's just part of their strat where they sub out, but it seems interesting to me that they were doing such a good job with that kind of attack. I'm curious if maybe they have players who have more favorite maps. And they just to say, hey, a couple of these maps are going to let some subs come in, or a couple of these maps are going to let our main team come in. But they did sub out last week as well, so this is not anything brand new from the side of Hunky Dory.
This could be a specialist subbing in then, because it may be the maps, yes, that can influence that. However, Watch Point Gibraltar, you can play Farah. You can play her first point. You can play her defense or attack. You can also play her point C, not so much point B, because you do tend to get shut down quite a lot if you have that elusive hit scan, which apparently everyone has become allergic to in the last month that I saw Overwatch tournaments be a thing. But when a team subs someone, that to me then sets alarm bells ringing, and I'm like, okay, that person is a somewhat specialist in their field, and I don't know, this may, it could put a little bit of a wrench in Avis's plans as a Doomfist.
Right. And you said it, specialist coming out right now, and as the heroes are being chosen, immediately snap pick Theodosa onto May, which is not a hero that we've seen very much in Star League, and not a hero we've seen at all tonight. So I'm curious. I'm very curious to see what this May is going to bring.
Well, it was a May, and we blinked, and then it became a Bastion. This is
Now
the
I'm
weirdest
sad.
Pokemon evolution I've ever seen. But Guile onto the Farah? Okay. So, no, Guile is going to be onto the... We've been beguiled.
We've been beguiled indeed. They are throwing us off right here as they are doing some hot swaps. Guile on the May this time. Theodosia going to be on the Pirate strat with the Orisa and the Bastion. And look at this sneaky play. They're going to let him come all the way down to this choke point right here. Nobody's got eyes on him right now.
They're looking for them. They don't know. They're going to be suspecting something's up. They're looking for a Sombra at the moment. But it's a Doomfist, and I really hope that they're prepared for this.
They were ready pretty much. It looked like Theodosa immediately got off the point, didn't want to stay there and take it. Immortality Field is down. They're going to open up on that very quickly here. Everybody's just going to have infinite amounts of health. Not able to find it. Theodosia being able to sneak through that little viewpoint window right there and just barely get a pick onto Abyss. That forces them to push out and try to take this fight, but it's not going to work out. Kill feed going to be red, and they gave him a lot of open space to travel right there. And just like that, after team wipe, the point is still, or the capture is still going, and it's almost checkpoint number 1. User wet did not come off the top of that. It was going the whole time. Great opening push.
They won that fight 5 versus 6 with their main tank off on a lone journey. A lone Orisa against the world doesn't have to worry, and they're pushing up so aggressively, making sure that they claim all of this free space. That payload is not going to stop anytime soon.
I really like the idea of trying to do like a little bit of a pinch play, let him kind of bait him in, bring him down here where we can handle him. But if you're going to do that, you have to know that you can capitalize on it. And right there, we did not see Soesic able to do that, and pretty much just gave them up free real estate as they were able to push in easily. This time the ice wall comes out, try to separate a couple teammates, but immediately Soesic does follow in. It's not going to matter, though. They all go down. May drops the blizzard. Unfortunately, a little bit late right there, securing the cleanup onto Cole as he does go down. The full team kill, but maybe a little bit of overkill coming out from Guile on May. Maybe not necessary entirely, but got the clean point anyway. Coming up on the point 2, extremely fast. This has not slowed down at all. 4.5 minutes remaining. They're going to be able to do it. A beautiful May wall, just a little stall right there, and that is going to force Soesic to back all the way up.
This pillard not going to be stopping anytime soon. They may have used the blizzard, but Avis has swapped over onto the May himself, so they're going to be waiting to build that one up. And I don't know, Guile already 25% is probably actually going to lap that one. It's early bird trying to drop this amplification matrix, do anything to stop what is happening at the moment, but it's just not working.
Yeah, they even dropped the amplification field there on Theodosa with the Bastion. Was only able to pop the Sigma shield and not enough, as Orisa immediately just replaces the shield on Theodosa in the back. Or excuse me, from Mighty Owl was doing all that damage, but wasn't able to pop it out. Here comes the Seismic Slam coming down from Aquatic. Not able to pick anybody up there, but able to separate him out a little bit. Mighty Owl will get the res from Cole, but it's not going to matter as this payload is still just trucking through. As Soesic not able to find their feet in the earth at all. And that might actually be it. Guile going to be here once again on the May, slowing him down with the wall, and that will be it. 5 minutes left on the timer. A straight push through. Beautiful offense from Hunky Dory.
Zakatak was in charge of trying to touch that payload and contest, but just gets slapped as soon as he sets foot out of the door. And once again, I do have to ask, has the world gone mad? Has Sombra been removed from the game? They just seem so stubborn in sticking with the compositions that they're running, and they only try to switch up really on that point C. And by then it's too late. You've got too many ultimates in the bag. You've got Bastion sat snugly on the payload, has only really been dislodged when he backed out to just survive that first initial pincer attack.
Yeah, the only time, you're right, when he got dislodged was of his own accord, is when he decided to get off of the point. That was
when he's like, oh yeah, I have legs. Maybe I should exercise these.
Now, no need when you're on a floating payload that's going to take you all the way to the end of the map anyway. Just sit down and relax, and you're a Bastion. Just shoot.
It was a cruise, and all of Soesic's death screams were just white noise in that Bastion's ears. Doesn't have to worry about a thing, doesn't have to worry about EMP, doesn't have to worry about a Sigma Flux, doesn't really have to worry about a Blizzard because the May doesn't get to build one up, doesn't have to worry about Hammond Mines because the swap comes in too late, you're not going to build an ultimate up. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, there was nothing there, and you were talking about it. It's a trip, and it was an all expenses paid trip as he just got to ride that one all the way home. No issues at all. But yeah, I'm just not sure what the fear is on the team comp switching. That might be maybe what I think is like the not weak point, but one of the downsides of having like an OWL is that the meta just gets so established that players feel like they have to play what the meta is. That's the best team comp. They've got to get better with that. But I think you're right. I think a couple hero swaps tonight could have done Soesic some justice here. We'll have to see. Maybe they bring it out. Maybe they bring out Pirate Ship also, and we'll see if Hunky Dory able to immediately do the swap off onto something like a Sombra, get some hacks going in there, get that EMP. But at the moment, it's just been basically a Bastion v Bastion for these last couple, or Pharah v Pharah, or Reaper v Reaper, and all of them, except for the very first one, been going in favor of.
I mean, it's really rough, it feels so sick, because you know that you have to win this map to continue. You know that was one of the fastest ever takes of Watchpoint Gibraltar. That payload essentially did not stop at all. You do have a really nice setup. The pincer movement would have worked for any composition, I would say, other than a pirate ship. If it's a pirate ship, you have to execute it so well. You have to have someone dislodge the Bastion, not of its own accord, but away from the team, away from the support, especially with Batiste in the game now. You have that immortality field. If you jump on the Bastion, even if it gets to critical HP, it gets to live. It's so annoying. I may be a Batiste player myself, but even I know exactly how annoying it is and irritating when you think you've got someone down and then you see that little chip appear on their HP and you're like, I have to shoot the lamp now.
Yep. Now on the other side of the offensive push on Hunky Dory, it was a good read. They rode the payload safely as far as they needed to, and as soon as they kind of realized what was happening, they immediately backed off together, immediately jumped back. They dropped that immortality field, got reset up, and then took it the rest of the way home. And they just not able to set up on the defense for that. This we see the opposite coming out on the side of the defense here. They're not going to give them an inch. We saw on Soesic, they set up or trying to do a little bit of a sneaky play, didn't work out in their favor. But for the side of Hunky Dory, they're set up looking at the first 2 out of 3 doors with the barriers up all around them right here. Even the May trying to stop them coming out of the windows. They're going to get an opportunity for some big picks here. The rocks will go out. That'll follow it up. So 2 great picks right there. Beautiful May wall coming out from Guile. And this is the opposite kind of plan of attack. They're not even going to give them even remotely an inch out of the doorway.
Pirate ship becomes unstoppable once you've actually got the Bastion onto the payload. Getting the Bastion to that payload is a whole different challenge. They do put the Maywall out just a little bit too early, so they do drop the Amplification Matrix, trying to find some value, because this is the best chance they're gonna have.
Oh, they get a pick onto user wet, so the shield will go down for Orisa. But look at this, they even had to drop the immortality field back in their spawn room almost. Now here comes Abyss, they're trying to get a teleport up and around. They're gonna get a little bit of a flank, so they do take the high ground here. Guile gets a nice snipe out. Blizzard will come out already. Guile already has it. Now they're trapped up here on this catwalk. The Blizzard will come down. Aquatic going to clean them all up. The payload's starting to move underneath. But it looks like a lot of kills coming out in favor of Hunky Dory. Going to try to drop down onto these 2 tanks. The final Symmetra will go down. Wall will come out. It's going to be a little bit too little too late, I think, as it looks like they are going to be able to reset up Zac Attack. The only one still fighting here. The 2 Sigmas going for the Battle of the Shield. But thankfully for the offense, at the moment, they've got a short run back. So it does look like Hunky Dory is finally going to have to back off just a little bit.
Yeah, but Mighty Owl is still not able to actually get on the payload, has to dance around it a little bit. Finally now, gonna be able to set up, and the sails are coming on as the Bastion finally sets up. He does have ultimate up, but look, you see so many ultimates on the side of Hunky Dory. The superchargers are just gonna get plunked down as soon as that payload starts going through car wash. And even now, the attackers, they just abandon ship.
Yeah, they went up top. They tried to take the high ground, and now they're getting picked off. They lose their Mercy. They're going to have to back off and wait for the self-res all the way in the back. I also love the setup from Hunky Dory. John sitting on the Ana in this high ground all the way up in top, just laying in tons of healing inside of that barrier comp. No issues at all. 5 ultimates are ready for the side of Hunky Dory. 4 are up for the side of Soesic, so it's going to be incredibly busy here in just a minute. Guile going to have the Blizzard as well, so it's going to be 11 ultimates are going to be coming here very shortly as Abyss finally gets taken out. So they're going to have to wait for another res. It's going to be another 65. Guile up here in the top, going to take Mercy out all by himself. Nobody even knows that the Mercy's up here, or the May is up here. There comes the Blizzard on top of them. 3 freezes right on top of each other. Doesn't matter if you're bashing with the shield, if you're frozen right there. Zac Attack going to get frozen out behind the wall as well. Beautiful cleanup. Hunky Dory makes this look so easy.
Where was the communication? You just lost your Mercy to a flanking May. Surely at the comms now you're saying there's a May on the high ground. They're going to drop in. They're going to use Blizzard, because Guile has been doing so much getting all of the icicles exactly where he needs to that he's definitely got that ultimate up. And if you're Zac Attack, you have to be ready to try and eat that ultimate. You've not got a Diva, no defense matrix. They are going to have ultimates. They're going to be able to commit properly to this fight, but they're going to have to find something, and the payload it's been rolling all the way back, so far back that Mighty Owl actually drops off the high ground and is able to actually land on it.
Oh, yeah. Landed on the payload. That was a little bit awkward. Kind of wasted some of their time. A good wall came out from Guile there. But, yeah, they all got kind of grouped up on the back wall like they were fighting the Spartans in 300 and got pushed off. Weren't able to make anything happen here. Separated once again. Zac Attack might go down from the Bastion. He's able to protect himself with his own defense. Get out of there safely. But only 8 seconds remain now. The overtime is going to be starting immediately. The canister will come down from user wet. Got all that damage up on top. What a beautiful placement. They're able to still pick up all this extra damage, and it's not going to get spotted out. The flux will come out from Aquatic. May not even matter, though. Overtimer going. They're cleaning up shop. Kill feed's all red. Hunky Dory not even going to let him get the first point. And now they will officially take it 3-1. What a match from Hunky Dory.
Well, their performance was definitely not hampered by the fact that Widow was sitting on that sub bench. They just dominate as soon as the spawn doors open.
Yeah, and it was kind of, I mean, that's why I said maybe they were just getting some practice in with their sub, but Theodosa on the Bastion running that pirate comp the whole way through, and Guile swapping over to the May. So not that he didn't play a great May, because he did, but normally I've been seeing him on the Doomfist and even swapping over to the Reaper, but bringing out the May there, getting a little bit of extra practice, a little bit extra work. And once again, I don't know if I can say it enough, 2-0, 84% kill participation. It's gone up every single game. What is happening with this man's support? Great play, support player coming out from 2-0.
Well, Guile is free to play the Mei because he knows that he's not going to get countered. If they're not going to counter a Doomfist, they're not going to counter a Mei. Mei is one of those heroes who annoyingly slipped through the cracks. Even at this level, sometimes people forget exactly how powerful she is. You want to talk about Overwatch, you have to talk about CC. It's the thing, it's 2019. There's so much of it in game. There are stuns, there are boops, there are sleeps, there's freeze. And freeze is, in my opinion, the absolute worst because you're stuck there, you know exactly what's coming, you see that Mei standing about a meter away, you see her lining that icicle pick up to your brain, and then suddenly you're in your respawn.
Yep, and that happened quite a bit there. Did a really good job at staying out there and getting the flank in. Well, that was an amazing match. 3-1, Hunky Dory staying in that losers bracket. Unfortunately, Soesic Esports will be getting taken out. But as we get loaded here, looks like we've got a special joining us here. Aquatic from Hunky Dory. Welcome to the show, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Doing pretty great after that match. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It was a great match to watch, man. You guys had a little bit of struggles at the beginning for the very first couple of points there, but you guys seemed continually to get stronger as your night.
That's just how it goes, man. I mean, we didn't have a warm-up, not really many scrims this past week, so you have to get our warmed up as a team, you know?
That's a scary situation coming in, warming up in a best of 5 and dropping the first game with a warm-up, but you guys definitely brought it back. It looked amazing. I'll lead off here with some little in-depth questions. What were your thoughts on 2-0 tonight, Mike?
On 2-0?
Yeah, specifically. I'm bringing him up for me.
Well, 2-0 specifically, he's the man of the match. You know what I'm saying? Like, he does everything he needs to do, regardless of what role he's playing. So, that's all I gotta say. I think he's the man of the match. If he didn't get MVP.
Does he normally play support for you guys, or does he kind of do a little hot swap?
Yeah, he's a support for us, the flex support. And, he does his thing.
Yeah. Good, man. We saw a lot of triple kills, a couple quads coming out on the Moira, and I think, if I remember my numbers correctly, he got a card every game for kill participation, and it was like 70%, 73%, 77%, and 84% on Moira, his kill participation every single game. It was kind of nuts for me to watch as a support player at heart. It was.
I know what I mean. Like I said, man, the man of the match. He's popping off every game. He brought his game. Even when we lost the first match.
Yeah, it didn't slow down at all. So.
No, sir.
Mox, you got what you got for him? You got anything you're looking for? I know you got questions on your mind.
Well, I'm gonna lead it off from the 2-0 talk. He is definitely a good player, but I have to ask, what was your favorite moment during those games?
It's got to be the 5-minute take under Balter. I mean, we rolled and smoked them. It was a little rough for them. I think they took a pause for that. Because they were like, shit, guys, what do we do now? You know, like, I just think that's how it went. That was my favorite moment.
And what, going through the comms, because obviously you're going through that car wash, and you're like, okay, they're not on the high ground, they're not as soon as we walk out the spawn doors. Something has to be going through all of the comms, like, is there a Sombra? Do they have a Bastion set up? What exactly happened when they all just swarmed out from the sides?
Okay, well, we pre-chucked everything. Like, that's why we have, like, user peeking from the left. And that's actually a pretty old strat. You usually see it in goats. And people would try to counter goats with that when they would run, like, a Mei instead. And they would hold right there. And then if they tried to push in, they would wall in. So I think we kind of expected that. And we played against that a few times. So we knew how to play around it. That's why we backed up. And then we put down field. And they tried to push into us. And boom, they were done for. They didn't even have an attempt there.
Yeah, that was
interesting. You say counters, because that was something Soesic definitely did not do. Both myself and Tez were kind of losing our minds that you guys were getting away with exactly what you managed to. There was no McCree, no Soldier, no Widow. Were you expecting to be running into, say, like the Sombra when you run Pirate Ship, the Widow, or McCree when you run Farah? Did you guys have a backup plan in place?
If that didn't work, we probably would have switched to Doom Reaper, most likely. Maybe Widow, because we switched in Theodosia, which is one of our substitutes, and he's a very amazing Widow, and that's a good map for it, so we might have ran that. No leaks though, no leaks, you know.
Yeah,
We still
gotta
got a
keep the
lose track
trade
to get
secrets.
through.
Yes, sir.
I
I know the opponents are watching right now for tomorrow's match, and I'm just no leaks. Can't leak.
That's a good
Oh.
teammate right there.
Yeah,
Yes,
great
sir.
teammate. Leading off of that, you do have a game tomorrow, so any words? Because I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys are gonna be going up against Magnetera for the second time.
All I can say is the first time was a fluke. We had a substitute. We got 2-0 win tomorrow, and they better watch their backs. That's all I can say.
Oh, the call outs are here. I will say I was lucky enough to be able to cast that game last week, and it was a close one. The scoreboard does not do it justice with how close it was. So it was a intense back and.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like Eichenwald was down the one fight, and we lost that by like 3 meters, and then Lee Jong was by one fight. It was like 2
And it was
to 1.
99 to 99. I think 2 times in a row. Yeah.
Yeah. So that could have easily been a 3-0 for one person, a 3-0 for us, or 3-0 for them. So. I think tomorrow you'll see a better match and you'll see a better us because we'll probably have a warm up and it'll just be better.
Be a hype one. So my one last question, you kind of already touched on a little bit. You said Theo was your sub in. Is there a decisive factor on why you bring the sub in? Was it like a map choice, or you guys just feeling comfortable at that point? You want to get some more practice in? What was kind of your mentality for bringing the sub in on the last game?
Well, usually we bring him in when we're not running like a Pharah because Widow. It's very good at he's Pharah, so when we do Doom Pharah comps, we run Tronton, which is Widow, and if it's not that, we can bring him in. So we actually have a list of maps like where he's in or if he's not in. So that's kind of our deciding factor. It usually fits more open. So
yeah, I was curious if you guys, me and Moxie were kind of theorizing ourselves without knowing you guys too much. If you guys were map choice specific on when you guys brought your swap in, it's cool to hear. Moxie, you got anything else?
We got duped, didn't we, Taz? We got duped by thinking that the Bastion was playing Mei and the Mei was playing Bastion. Like we were like, oh, okay, that they're on Bastion, they're on Mei. No, they've swapped.
Yeah, you guys were hot swapping on us 2 seconds before the match. You guys were throwing us off on your deep.
I'll be honest, I got like my Uber Eats in the middle of the match, and I'm not done with it. So I went and got that, and I was eating in the middle of the match. So if you saw me AFK at the spawn door, I was trying to get some.
I called it. I called it.
was that on Volskaya with the Sigma?
Yes, I was.
Yes,
I thought you were waiting to be a bodyguard and protect your Lucio. And
Yeah,
you
Moxie
AFK, there's a
covered for
disconnect
you.
coming.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, it's like Aquatic DC'd, and Moxie's like, no, he's waiting for the Lucio to protect him. She was all over you.
This is true. We were also scouting.
Not dead, class.
I could get like an extra bite in while we were scouting, but you know, I'm halfway done. After this, I'm gonna finish it up.
That's funny. Well, you can eat comfortably now, man. Guys, got at least one more night of another win under your belt. You got a tough one tomorrow. Like I said, you took the loss in the winners bracket to Magnetera. Magna, if you're out there listening, though, you got big gauntlets got thrown at you tonight. Big shoes to fill. Step it up again for tomorrow night as Aquatic going to throw it down. He said he's coming out hot and ready for you guys tomorrow night. Moxie,
yes, sir.
you got anything else?
Well, I'm definitely going to be watching. I'm looking forward to this. He's promised so much. He's hyped you guys up. He hyped you up before the match. He was like, yeah, they've got a really good Pharah. Keep your eye out for the Pharah. The Mercy's really good, too. It's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be one to watch that's coming at you guys tomorrow. It's going to be, I think, one of the closest games of the tournament so far. It's fair to say. It's been lovely having you. I'll let you get back to your food.
You got any shout outs or anything, man, before you got here, Aquatic? You got anything going on? What's up?
Not particularly. Actually, I have a shout out to Guile. So Guile, he's actually our computer technician and got our PCs up and running. And Tuo, he's the grandfather of the team. He's always there for us, even when we're down. If I'm down, brings me back up. If I'm crying, makes me happy. So that's all my shout outs right now. And shout outs to my Uber Eats driver for getting my food here fast and efficiently. I don't have a code I can shout out, but that's it.
Cool. Well, thanks for being here, Aquatic. GG's on your win, man. It was a substantial one, and good luck on your game tomorrow night against your rematch.
Yes, sir. GG's. Bye, guys.
Is this something that's happening now? People don't have to worry about being a diva and not eating breakfast, so you can just order food
Yeah, just
and
get
have it
delivered.
arrive halfway through the game.
Hey, I would like to say, called it out, all right? Hardcore, knew he was DC'd. Beautiful save on your part for saying that he was out there protecting Lucio, but glad I caught him out on it. Go watch the VOD Aquatic. You're going to laugh at me when I call you out for DC. And sitting in that spawn door, getting your Uber. Didn't seem to matter, though.
It wasn't the only thing that you can rub in my face, because 2-0 is the MVP. The viewers at home agree with you. The Moira, the Viti, stood out as a support and as a DPS.
Yeah, the kill participation was astounding from him, and getting lots of triples, lots of quads. I'm sure I'm going to go back and find a couple clips of those to keep in my collection because they were beautiful. So awesome play all around, but GG's to Hunky. Moxie, I think that's it for us tonight. Another one in the bags. Or you got anything you need to say?
I mean, it's been lovely as always casting with you twats. Always a pleasure, and this time I actually get a face to the voice.
That's true. Yes, we got that figured out now. So shout outs, as always, to the production crew at Star Esports Live. Thanks for making it. A special shout out to Refused. I know he's listening. Thank you very much, man, for putting all these tournaments on. Make sure that if you guys are liking the tournament, that you join up in the Discord, the Star Esports Discord. Information under the video below. Make sure you like a follow on this channel. If you want to support the channel as well, it's the final day of those half off 249 Timber subs on Twitch. So if you guys want to support the channel in this awesome tier 3 community, be sure to do that. Drop a sub, come back and see us, drop a follow. We got a whole rest of this bracket coming up for the rest of the Overwatch Star Brawl series. Moxie, it was great. Thank you very much for coming out here and casting. As always, I agree with you. It's always great. I'm Twess. This was Moxie, Star Esports Live. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next.